so sorry again, but I think the broadcast should be live again. And it's not just my frozen face. If that's the case, please do like a thumbs up or just let us know in the chat. I'm not sure. Okay.
Oh, good. Thank you, Anna.
Okay. So I'm not sure if how much of my intro anyone heard, but we are a family and housing crisis service agency in Alameda County. And we assist victims of domestic violence and sexual assault survivors with mostly restraining orders and any other family law matters related to restraining orders, such as custody, sometimes dissolution, and support. We do have a direct services staff of about 14 members, and we also do some preventative outreach for youth and also have a housing department. That's just a little bit about me.
Great. Thank you, Esther. So it sounds like there's a lot of different areas of law that, or a lot of different ways that you guys are assisting clients and then a number of different types of clients as well. And so I'm wondering, in this remote landscape, how have your outreach strategies changed?
Yeah, for us at least, with COVID, we haven't really had a problem getting clients to us. In fact, just from quarter of 2020 versus the fourth quarter of 2019, our calls have increased by 37%. So, unfortunately, the sad reality is that when it comes to domestic violence, because of COVID, I think it's on the rise. Mostly for us, I think our most important way of outreach that we've seen is doing warm referrals and really forming collaborative partnerships with other agencies within Alameda County. So, and I can talk more about that, but that's been the most effective way, I think, of outreach for us during this time.
That's great. Do you want to talk a little bit about what kind of organizations and agencies have been the kind of the best referrals and the most consistent in terms of being able to send clients your way?
Yeah, so our office is housed in the Family Justice Center for Alameda County. And so what we've done is and we'll get more into this later, but we formed a clinic with them so that anyone who does have family law questions that we can assist with, they can come into the Family Justice Center, and they've been able to do like a warm referral to us or put them in the clinic. Also with our court, so with the Self-Help Center at Alameda County Court, we've been able to form a really good partnership with them where we both send and receive referrals from the Self-Help Center there. And also importantly with actually our law enforcement agencies. So a lot of our advocates have been trying to strengthen their, we have a specific liaison with different law enforcement agencies. And so we've been really strengthening that relationship and trying to foster that so that we can, a lot of our clients come through that way. When they call the police, law enforcement will then let them know about our agency through that way.
Thanks, Esther. Nash, can you talk a little bit about any of the ways that your outreach has changed since COVID-19 started?
Sure. For us, it has been a little different. We had like a lot of clients that that were there for some time, and that in a way, the whole usage of technology allowed us to serve them a little bit faster and with more time to each client. So what we did is we started reaching our clients that they needed any change of status or work permit or any of these things that we do. And we started using technology to create these clinics where they could connect from wherever they are. They don't have to actually go to the office. And we start working with attorneys not only from the Bay Area, but from a lot of other places, New York. So that helped us in a way to improve the way we reach them and to improve the way we dedicate our time to them, and we are that connection between them and another attorney, especially the pro bonos. So that has been the way that we have been working, and it's exciting because we have seen this year to grow the number of persons of people that we have helped, and with these little things that we just need to look for it online and just try it, and if it doesn't work we try another thing, and if it doesn't work we try another thing. But I think there's like a lot of tools out there that we're still not aware of, and I would just love to share with you all guys the ones that have helped us, and maybe you can use them to reach out your clients.
Do you have more, and that's really fantastic that you guys have been able to utilize technology to increase the number of clients that you're seeing. Do you have some tips that you wanted to share in terms of technology right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it has helped to us is this tryout period of times that you can use certain kind of technology like for free. And there's a lot of tools that will help you to create a safe and an organized environment to deal with clients. Just like an example, we use Airtable. In Airtable, it's to create projects and follow up to each client and have a lot of information organized in one app, and it's free. So tools like these are easy to find out. Just Google. Like what we used to do is Google and see which technologies are going out, which apps, because everything now it's like people with so much free time, they're creating these amazing apps, and they're not like very expensive, and it gives you the chance to organize the work a little bit more and share this information with the rest of your team without sending emails or send a text message. I'm sorry, Stephanie. The name of the tool is Airtable. I will just write it on the message.
That's great. Are Esther and Ash, are you guys using technology to do any type of outreach? In terms of like maybe your websites, or in terms of social media, or other ways of getting in touch with new clients?
Yeah, so for our agency specifically, Google Voice has been tremendously helpful. We are fully remote, and so a lot of times when we need to have direct contact with clients, Google Voice has been a great resource for us. And another mode of outreach or communication that's been helpful during this time is texting. And I would say pre-COVID, texting was definitely not in our wheel, like a favorable way of communicating, just because of boundary issues and things like that. But nowadays, I feel like a lot of clients who don't have access to smartphones, or they don't have access to they might not be as tech savvy, at least they are able to text. And so that's been a good way for us to do some outreach and communication with our clients. Again, like the developing the partnerships and the warm referrals have really helped, because those agencies will then use their website to promote clinics or our agency themselves. For example, the Self-Help Center at the Alameda Courthouse has started promoting clinics on their website, which then, is a referral for us. Us specifically, we haven't really, like I mentioned, like a our outreach hasn't really been affected. Like we're still very, like a lot of client calls have been coming in through COVID, because of COVID actually. And so, you know, for us, I think we've remained pretty consistent with our website and our social media presence, but I see like our partners doing that. So it's kind of like word of mouth, or, you know, I feel like going back to like the grassroots of just word of mouth has been really effective for us.
It sounds like you guys have a lot of good relationships within the community, which I think certainly helps a lot. And we have a comment from Vanessa Frank. We've been using WhatsApp really successfully, easier to send pictures and videos, and our primarily Mexico Northern Triangle clients are already familiar. So it's another great tool. And actually, if you guys can keep the questions and the, oh, here we go. Yeah, if you guys want to keep questions coming, we're happy to answer questions as they come up. Vanessa wants to know, have you done any clinics or other community education? I'm not sure what KYR stands for in the virtual space, and how effective has it been?
In our case, in SJC, yes, we have done some clinics in virtual spaces. We use RingCentral, and RingCentral is an application that allows to make phone calls and send text messages to our clients or to any attorney. And it also gives us a space, and they have a sister application that it's called RingCentral Meetings. So what we started to do is we created these tutorials videos, so the clients can learn how to use the app and connect to their attorneys. And the amazing thing about this app to get meetings is like they have like this waiting room where the client gets in, and then you can separate clients with attorneys into several break rooms. So it's just, you know, one big space that you can separate in rooms, and the organizers can jump from one room to another room, checking the whole work that it's being done. So I would say that RingCentral has given us that chance to create a virtual space, and the clients don't necessarily have to go to our offices, or the attorneys necessarily have to come and be at the clinic.
Yeah, RingCentral, that sounds like a good one. I'm gonna have to look into that. We also have done clinics where we assist clients, pro per clients, with their restraining order paperwork, and we use the BlueJeans platform. And so basically, like what Nash said, we'll have a central main room where there will be like a supervising attorney or reviewer there, and create breakout sessions for each client and their the person who's assisting them with their paperwork. And so if, you know, if the volunteer or has any questions, and they'll jump back into the main room to ask the question and get some advice about the paperwork, and then go back. It's worked out pretty successfully, and I think it's a safe space for us to continue our work without having to have and have that personal interaction with the client without having to, you know, put anyone's health in jeopardy. So yeah, we use BlueJeans for that.
And if anyone wants to put anything, thanks, Esther. If anyone wants to put any other suggestions about apps or programs that they're using to do webinars or community education or Know Your Rights events, which I'm a little embarrassed, I didn't realize that was Know Your Rights events. Abbreviation. But if you guys want to put any suggestions in the chat, then we'd be happy to share them. Nash, I want to go back to a question that I asked Esther in the beginning, which is, you know, this idea of warm referrals. Have there been organizations or groups that you found have been particularly effective about getting the word out about your services during COVID-19?
The part of getting new clients is not really what we have been focusing in. We're more like, we had a lot of clients that we weren't able to help. What we were able to get was help to develop these clinics from other partners, like I don't know, Morgan Lewis or Fenwick and West, um, people that maybe before couldn't be able to help us in these kind of clinics, but now that we are giving the opportunity to be connected and not necessarily be there, help us to improve the number of clients we serve. And now we're trying a little bit of putting some effort in our social media. Yes, I think before COVID, it was a place where everybody shares their own thoughts. But now everybody goes to social media to make sure that something is reliable, which is weird. But yeah, like people might heard about social justice collaborative, and they just will go to Facebook and look for them and see if they have a place in Facebook, if they have any comments or rates, and people start developing a feeling of trust with these things. So that's what we've been like working on.
Great. And Esther, does your organization use social media, Facebook or Twitter or Instagram?
No, not specifically. I think we still resort to more traditional means of just like website. And so that hasn't really been something that we utilized, although, it does sound like a really great resource to get word out there.
It sounds like you guys have not had to do as much targeted outreach, but have you had any populations that you're trying to reach in particular during COVID that you feel like you haven't been seeing, that you've been trying to do any kind of specialized outreach to?
In our case, mostly clients or people that are not really close to the office. I think those are the clients or people that struggle the most to get help, because maybe before they didn't have the way to get all the way to the office and talk to the attorney and then go back to answer, I don't know, to fill out any documentation and then go back to sign the documentation and then go back. And so our target has been these people that it's a little bit further away from our main offices, that didn't have the opportunity to continue with their process, and they're just running out of time, especially with asylum cases, that they have certain time to apply for a change of status, and they are not doing it because they just can't be there. So that's mainly our target right now.
Yeah, I don't think we have a special target post-COVID, but I think what's come to our attention is that our limited English proficiency clients are really falling through the cracks through the court system, mainly because now all of the hearings are done online. Unfortunately, Alameda County wasn't printing out their remote hearing instructions in other languages until I think recently, like maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So I think rather than target, what's happening now is that for our pro pers, especially our pro per clients, we're having to do a lot more micromanaging, not micromanaging, but a lot of more personalized attention to these clients to make sure that they are getting into their hearings, making sure that their hearings are not being dropped, and that they are getting a lot of the technical aspects that are so difficult for our clients, that we have to really guide them through that now, and that's been difficult. And from the legal perspective, a lot more refiling for these clients because they happen to miss their hearings and things like that. So that's been really important.
And do you find them because they come back through the self-help center or through the courts, and then you get the referrals from other organizations?
Yeah, so if we've been working with them before, then they'll just contact us directly again. But a lot of the referrals from our partner organizations have been for refiling. So that does happen. Yeah.
Great. And Nash, I know your organization serves a pretty wide geographic area, and you made reference to trying to reach people in remote areas. Are there specific things you do to try to reach people that are, further away from you or in more rural or remote areas?
Well, we started with a little bit of social media, but we are also using the recommendation from our own previous clients. So we started, for example, with families. So I know this person that can help you, or like before when I started with the reception line, it's like, oh, my sister told me that you can help me, or my cousin told me that you can help me. So the way that we have been reaching more people is through previous clients and also through social media, which at the beginning, since we didn't put a lot of effort on it, because well, you don't realize how important it is until you actually use it. So once we start posting more things about the job that we've been done, the people that we have helped, real pictures of our clients, and when they want to share, of course, and that help the people that have heard about us to actually get the courage and call us and said, they told me you can help me. So that's how we have been reaching people for now.
Well, I think that gets that idea of how do you build trust within the community so people contact you. And it sounds like you guys have done a tremendous job of inspiring confidence with your clients. Someone is saying they can't hear. I'm just wondering if we should switch to Zoom, since we seem to be having some problems off and on. If you think we should switch to Zoom, go ahead and put it in the box, and I think we'll just see if we can make sure that everyone can hear. Does anyone think that it would be easier for us to hear and we'd have less technical issues?
I'm not sure if it's just if it's everyone or if it's just me. I mean, you guys can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Oh, Wendy's
Okay.
back on. Okay, Vanessa says she's okay. 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 Okay, happy to stay here. Okay, it's working fine. Great. Okay. Sorry, we're just trying to make sure everyone can participate. Okay, great. Just the initial issues. Okay. So, one of the things that we had talked about is, change it, how do you reach people and how do you also get materials out to people so that it's in languages that everyone understands? Have you changed or developed any kind of flyers or materials or videos or anything that talks about your services in terms of outreach?
On our case, we started using this program called Powtoon, and we figured out that it was easier for people to follow instructions when they actually see like a video with, animations and stuff like that. So what we started doing, in order to clients to feel confident and be able to connect with us through the apps that we're using, we created certain videos of like tutorials for them. And what we do, it's that we do the tutorial on a video and we record the voice off in Spanish, and then we translate it to mom. We have a lot of mom speakers clients, so we have helped for some people, and then we record the voice off in mom, and then we do it in English. So this Airtable tool that I mentioned before, it actually helps us to send text messages to the clients, and then like if you select the language they speak, the same app sends the link to the video with the language that your client speaks. So these tools have they help for clients to feel a little bit more confident using um, the apps. And like I used to take like screenshots and add it to the video because they feel like they can do it, and that the phone that you're using is probably really look alike that the one that they're using. And if you use like real pictures of the icons of the um, the apps, that thing like help them to be able to connect. And at the beginning I thought it, there's clients that might not have access to a smartphone, but their kids are, or um a neighbor, or a cousin. So so we're trying to use technology a little bit more and make them feel comfortable by using it, and building the trust of people to use technology. Because like it's like somebody calls you and said like, I'm gonna help you with your green card, but I'm on the phone, and in our faces, or they don't know who we are. It's like, I think these Powtoon videos and tutorials and or voice, because we use the voices of ourselves, recording the voices of it creates trust and confidence with clients. So that's what we've been using. I hope that information helps you. um, and it's like you can reach out these apps online, and they have free trials. So if you need the name, I will just write it down.
That's really fantastic. I love what you just said about trying to build trust with our clients with technology, because I think that that's a huge thing, is how do we get clients to then use the technology that we're trying to, use for their legal services. So it's great that you guys have been able to use Powtoons. We use Powtoons as well, and it's a really great program. And it looks like Felisa said at the Law Foundation, we've used Powtoons for client education and outreach regarding youth financial empowerment. And we had the youth create the cartoon videos, and I think that's so fantastic, because not only are they using it, but it's fun to see people use their creativity to make these videos really much more interesting than I feel like I could come up with myself. Nash, I don't think I knew that you could record it in your own voice for Powtoon, so that's fantastic. So you guys can do the same thing in different languages.
Yeah, there's a little tab that says record voice off. That you just need to have a headset, and it will just let you record the voice off, either for the whole video or slide by slide. So that helps a lot when we translate it to MAM, for example. We need to do it slide by slide, because personally I don't speak MAM, and I do the recording in Spanish, but then I need to merge the MAM with the same pattern of the Spanish. So doing a slide by slide recording helps a little bit.
That makes a lot of sense. The other question I have for you is, I think a lot of organizations have been thinking about, using text, and you guys are using we use Legal Server, and there's a texting function there. Do you do targeted messages by text? Do you text each individual client, or how do you use texting to get the message out?
Yeah, for us, it's targeted. So it would be individual clients. That's how we would reach out to our clients, is through individual. I mean, for our agency at this time, we don't necessarily have a need to do like mass texting, but I could see Google Voice maybe not having as much capacity to do mass texting, but for the individual, it's been working out for us.
And do you use it mostly for outreach, or do you use it to communicate with your clients?
Mostly for communication with clients. I think our advocates also do some outreach through texting. But for us, it's mostly through that. And then, sorry, Julie, going back to your other question about your prior question about materials and what our agency has done with doing that is we've tried to translate or modify or create some flyers and informational pieces about new court procedures. And so we would do that in Spanish and Mandarin and other languages, but also using more, utilizing our more traditional methods of resources. Like we use a translating company called Language Line Solutions. And so they've been really helpful in, communicating with our limited English proficiency clients. And more, I think when it comes to the practical side of using things, we've used Laya, which has been really helpful. I know they're sponsoring this conference, but I'm not being paid to talk about them. But Laya has been fantastic in helping us with our forms and our legal outreach to clients. And it's been fairly easy for clients to go ahead and do their electronic signing, review their paperwork through Laya and through email. And so, I think Laya has been a really, really good resource for us as far as the legal forms go.
Yeah, there's a lot of really helpful technology that I think a lot of us might have used sporadically, but are now using all the time. Laya has been really helpful. Esther, how have you guys been able to get out your flyers? Because that's one of the, I think that's one of the challenges. How do you get them out into the community? Where have you guys been distributing your flyers, and how have you been getting them into people's hands?
Yeah, I think we're not doing as much flyer distribution just because, not everyone is going out, but we do have, like at the courthouse, we will post up something there so that when the clients are going to the courthouse frequently to drop off paperwork or anything, they will see our materials there. The Family Justice Center, like I said, are still seeing clients in person, and so they're also able to provide some of our materials through that way. We haven't done any direct mailing or anything like that, but I could see how that would also be beneficial for us. Outreach hasn't really been an issue just because our calls and everything have been such on the rise since COVID. But yeah.
Thanks. Nash, have you guys developed any materials that you're sending out or trying to get into community partners' hands or posting anywhere?
We've been using a lot of emailing to get partnerings. And for clients, we've been using pretty much social media. We haven't used like physical tools since people can just go out and stuff like that. But we use a lot of posting, and we also use text messages through Ring Central. So it's not like a massive tool to get text out there, but in groups like, 30 to 40 people. So that messaging system help us to invite them to the clinics, or like if we have a session of work permits, we just select the phone numbers of the clients that might need this process, and we send out text messages.
Okay. Have you heard any feedback from clients about how they are hearing from you other than the ways that we've already discussed today? Are there any other, things that you think your organization has been doing that's been really effective in terms of bringing people in?
Well, for us, it's been like all about the client stalking.
Mhm.
I think what I have seen lately during COVID is that um, people start trusting a little bit more of what they hear and start doing their own research before, taking making a choice. But we have increased the number of phone calls of people saying, "This person told me that you can help me," and or even on the phone or to our social media page, like, "Hey, my cousin was helped by you," and even when it's not the same process that we helped the client before, but it's like people just keep talking about uh, their experience with us and makes other people call us. Maybe before COVID, I didn't notice this much movement in, mouth to mouth way to distribute information, but now I think it has increased a lot. So I think people are just trusting a little bit more in what they hear because they have, in their own space, they don't have anywhere else to hear about it. And in the case of our or of the things that we do, that it's mostly immigration services.
Yeah,
Makes a
I
lot of sense.
totally agree with Nash. I think word of mouth, like when I see our intakes and check what referrals, how our clients have been referred, mostly it is through word of mouth and through our partnerships with other organizations. And so, I think fostering those relationships with other community organizations and really, um, you know, doing the warm referrals has been tremendously helpful during this time, especially when we're not able to go out and really do any in-person outreach. That's been like one of the most effective ways of getting our agency's name out there.
Makes sense. Can you talk a little bit about what the warm referral process is in your organization? Does someone go directly to an intake person or the person who would maybe be representing them? How does that work? Does it bypass any kind of usual intake process?
Yeah, sometimes the initial client, that may bypass the intake system, although all of our clients do have to have an intake at a certain point. But we might have a point person at each agency. So, for example, at the Self-Help Center, there is a point person that we have that we specifically refer clients back and forth to. Same with the law enforcement agencies. There's a specific advocate who is appointed to a certain law enforcement department office. So it can be that way. And then usually, we might even have like a form. So with another agency, BayWar, the Bay Area, the name is escaping me, but the acronym is BayWar. With them, like we'll have a little form that we fill out. And then at that point, like we can just give it to the advocate. But we know that, these warm referrals, not that we give it a priority, but there is, some emphasis to that because we do want to cultivate those relationships, and we understand that, these clients have that. So we do try to give these clients special attention for that.
Great. Nash, does your organization have anything like that?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. You freeze.
Oh, does your organization have a process for making it easier for people to directly refer, or does there just kind of a standard intake process?
Yeah, it's more like a standard intake process. At the beginning, we tried this since I was working really close to a particular type of client, and they would refer a lot of people that they knew. We started a little process of a little document that I would just fill out and then transfer to someone that could help them a little bit more, because I wasn't really, aware of all the information back when we started on COVID, because I was dedicated to just one specific type of client. So I needed to fill out just a little document with some details and then just move it to someone that will do the actual intake process.
That's good. Well, it sounds like you guys have a lot of very thoughtful ways in terms of getting cases directly to advocates and making sure that you maintain those relationships to get the referrals. We want to open it up to question and answer for the audience. Do you guys have any questions that you wanted to ask Esther or Nash? And I'm actually going to move us into Zoom for this part of it, if it's okay with everyone. We have a Zoom link, and I think it might be easier because I think it would also be really helpful if the audience can also talk a little bit about some of the things that they've done that are best practices. So I'm going to put the Zoom link in there. And so we'll all need to join and then get out of here. We'll have some noise problems, I think. So with that, I'm going to go over to Zoom. Hopefully you guys can too.
Yeah, I would love to hear what other agencies are doing too, so that would be great.
Okay, I put it in the chat. Hopefully everyone can move with us.
Julie, I'm not seeing it in the chat. I don't know if there's a lag or something.
Yeah, okay, hang on a sec. Let me try again.
Okay, thanks, Gracia. Yeah, I see that.
I can hear you. Okay, I'm going to jump out of here. I'm in with Gracia now. Hopefully we'll see everyone else in just a minute.